Hello YouTubers, just picking up from last week and continuing on with the theory lessons. Last week we talked about the cycle of fourths. So today we're going to be now looking at 2-octave scales in a little bit more depth, and I'll also be talking about the minor scale relationship as well, because within the 2 octaves it's a little clearer to see that relationship occurring. Quick note, I've just uploaded Demented Argo's Hot Rod Vampires to the Patreon page. It is for Patreon members only, but I will be doing a tutorial on it shortly as well. So if you're not a member and you don't want to get yourself that full transcription, I'll be walking through it on these videos anyway. But of course, all the support's appreciated, so please check it out. Anyway, continuing on. So we finished up with the cycle of fourths last week. You should have an understanding of your cycle of fifths and cycle of fourths now, at least in a 1-octave scale. Now what we're going to do is have a look at the major scale in 2 octaves, so from C. Now that's the 1 octave, and we're on C here. So we're going to continue from here to go to D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, and backwards. So C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Okay, we can continue that. I would shift my first finger to set that position up. Okay, so that's a root 5 2-octave major scale. Alright, so work through that as I walked you through it for the first one. And now we're going to look at the a root 6 2-octave major scale. So let's go in the cycle of fifths, we'd be looking at G now. So here's a G. So this is the 6th string, that's why we call it a root 6 major scale. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. You should already know that. The next half of it, G, A, B, C, D, that's E, F sharp, G. G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. We've got the F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. Okay? Now you'll notice I don't move left or right for that one because I just use, one finger per fret basically, because there's no real need to deviate for that one. Now, this is where you can go either way. Now, if you want to work through your cycle of fifths or cycle of fourths, it's kind of on you. Check out that shape. That you should be able to move that shape now with your knowledge of at least where those root notes started. So if we want to go to D, we'd use the same shape that we played from C. Then I'm also putting less detail into talking about the frets I'm playing because I do want you to, if you're like, oh, what string is he playing? What fret is he playing? Use your ear. You'll be able to tell with a quick little bit of investigation, and that's going to make you a better musician than anything else, is starting to use your ear a little bit. If you haven't done that with transcribing and stuff, because it's sort of beyond you at this point, if you're still, getting your head around those things, then this is a great way to start. Don't try to listen and then try and pick up what I've played if you're having trouble following my fingers. So anyway, we were on, if we wanted to go to D, that shape, we can do that from here now. So we get our D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. And backwards, I'll do that a little slow, sorry. Okay, and then obviously we're going to do the A scale, the A 2-octave scale, the same way we did G, but we're going to do it from the 5th fret now. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. Sorry, I actually was thinking I had to move up, but I didn't. It should just be straight across. And so on and so forth. So I keep promising to upload the fundamentals to my Patreon page, and I'm going to make that free, so it's available to everyone. And I will do that this week. I've been wanting to edit a few things, but you know what? I'm just going to put it up because all the 1-octave scales are there more or less. The only thing is that with the cycle of fourths, I started going through the open passages as well. So let me touch on something. If we're going to play these 2-octave scales from F, for example, and we're back here at the 6th string on the 1st fret, we're going to need to use the open strings. So F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. And that can be a little challenging because it's not a shape that we've necessarily already applied. So what I'm going to do to address what I wanted to change in the booklet that I'm going to put up, let's go through some of the open major scales really quick. So that was F, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Now if you imagine that I played that from here, and that was the open, it is the same shape as the major scale that you've been working on in the 1-octave. It's just that we use the open instead of a fretted note back there because we've run out of frets basically. So, and then of course from B flat, if I act out that finger, then it's the same thing. So this is just a quick note on tackling those open ones. And then of course you can move them to a closed variant or a shaped variant or whatever you want to call it. So maybe B flat up here and F here. Okay, so I'm playing them quickly, but you should already know those shapes by now, hopefully. And then 2 octaves of this. So from here, that's F, G's open, A, B flat, C, D, open E, F, and backwards. Oh, sorry. What am I doing? I'm going further than I need to. There's our F, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F. Okay, so that's the 2-octave version of that, and of course we've got open key versions of that, but sharp key versions of that, like the key of E, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. That one's a little hard to visualize because it's a slightly different layout. You know, we'd be playing a stretched out major scale if we were doing that from F, for example, but it's worth having a quick look at. Open, 2nd, 4th, open, 2nd, 4th, 1st fret, 2nd, F sharp there, G sharp, A, B, we're using the open string because it's available to us, C sharp, D sharp, E. Okay, so that's open E, and then of course you've got open A, B, C sharp, D, that's open 4th string, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, open 2nd string, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So again, they're kind of outliers or outliers to all the shapes that we're working on. They're a little bit unique because of that open position. And there's also D major as well. So you've got D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Okay, and that's just 1 octave because we're going to run out of space to do the 2-octave. It's all on 1 string if we do it from there. So yeah, I've touched on your 2-octave major scales from a root 5, from a root 6, and then I've also gone quickly through those open variants that you may or may not be interested in right now. It's not extremely crucial. That's why I've kind of just blown through them. Now, what I want to just touch on real quick is that obviously as we work through those in your cycle of fifths, so play from C using the root 5 2-octave, play from G using the root 5 2-octave, D, A, E, B, F sharp. When you hit that F sharp, you could also play that F sharp as a 2-octave root 6 from here. And you could obviously play B as a 2-octave root 5 from here. Okay, even I'm having to think about the notes there a little bit. it. So yeah, I know I've been a bit frantic this lesson. I've thrown a few things at you. Please, if that bothers you, or if I've not hit the nail on the head with a few things, you can just give me some feedback. I'm happy to go back over some of these things. The last thing I want to touch on real quick is that within each of these major scales lies the relative minor scale. So within G, I'm going to do G because it's root 6. Okay, the 6th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's an E. That is our relative minor. All of those notes in G against E give us that really dark, or nice and dark minor sound. Okay, so, and every major scale has that potential to be a major scale or a minor scale, depending on where you sort of select those notes from. You can actually play a different scale from every single note in the major, but the first note and the 6th are the most commonly used. So within C, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's an A. So everything from A in the key of C gives us that dark flavor. So we're going to go through that next lesson, okay? Jump on. I'm going to put the fundamentals up today. In the next few days, hopefully today. It's a very, very busy time at the moment. But flick through that booklet and it will address, it'll have all the single octave scales are done for the moment, including the cycle of fourths. And I actually do a whole bunch of them in the open instead of in the closed position, because you already kind of know them in the closed position by the time you get around to the cycle of fourths. Anyway, thanks again. Please, the feedback's been great. I can never remember Studio Del. There's a guy, I believe he's from France, and you've made some great comments and some great feedback, and I really appreciate that. I just wanted to mention. And there's a user, Lock Up Your Fat Dog, and Ed Wither. Both of you guys, you're on to every one of these theory videos and commenting. Anyone I've missed, I apologize, but I just want to quickly mention those guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.